All right. Let's see. Go with some recaps here. Let me see. Let me go to show comments. Okay. Let's do that. Back at it. Okay, I gotta fix this. All right, guys. All right, so I'm back. All right, so there's a lot going on, you know, with this trial. Just you know, you got to be careful. Like I had said before, when somebody is under the pseudonym, you can't say their names. Even you just can't say their names. And I believe there has been a media personality that leaked her name. He about to get in trouble because that could literally derail things. So I had went back to my video. I was like, I'm looking through the chat. I was like, yeah, I got to delete my videos. I was looking through the chat. I was like, man, somebody could have came in here and did that on purpose, but I caught it. So they didn't say her name, but you know, you could easily figure it out from the comment section. So I had to delete it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to do right there. Because yeah, that's a crime to do that, and I think the YouTubers are not exempt. That's outside of the courtroom. They're not exempt from doing that. You just have to know the rules and decorum of court. I had said that before the trial started. I'm not giving you anybody names that's under a pseudonym. Nope, not doing it. So just not doing it, man. Let me try something really quickly. I'm assuming you guys can still hear me, but I want to know. Let me know if you hear this real quick. If you hear Suge talking, let me know if you hear this. Ooh, I don't know if y'all heard that. And that is done. Safari. Okay, I don't know what happened. That's crazy. All right. I can't even see the chat. All right. My bad, y'all. I tried to do something, but it's not working. Now I don't even see the. Okay. Anybody still there? Or y'all? Let me see. All right. Well, you just said one. Okay, so cool. Like I said, I had to just so be on the safe side. I'm like, let me just take these videos down because I don't know if anything slipped in the comment section. But anyway, as far as like what's going on outside the courtroom is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Um, but I'm mainly focused on what's happening inside the courtroom. You said you're using StreamYard. It looks different. Yeah, I'm using StreamYard. Um, Celebrity, did you want to come on and give your thoughts today? I can give you the link. Max, tell a scenario where Puff can get off. Okay. Oh, that's a good one. Can I add? Let me see something. Show on stage. All right, cool. We'll start there. Thank you, Truth Over Emotions. Monique said, hi, Max Mars from Sydney, Australia. Hey, what's going on, Monique? Um, Sydney, Australia. Okay, so I'm glad you said that. So we're going to start there. All right. So, like I said, just to give you a little background, I was following Trial since on this channel since Aaron Hernandez. But I follow other trials as well. Casey Anthony, OJ, just many trials. So the question is, Max, give a scenario. Well, it's not really quick. Give a scenario where Puff can get off. Okay. He can get off by way of technicality, truth over emotions. Like, how can I say this? Not get off by way of technicality, but that's after the fact if he's convicted. He can get this thing overturned on technical reasons, like how Cosby did. Cosby had an original agreement with the prior DA because the DA that was retiring, he had an agreement with that DA, but there was an incoming DA that was really gung ho about bringing Cosby to trial. And he broke the original agreement, so that got his case got overturned on appeal, and he came home. Now, as far as right now for Diddy, the jury, remember, you have to it's beyond reasonable doubt. We know the government has the highest burden here. They have to prove this case beyond reasonable doubt. If the jury has doubt, they are instructed to vote not guilty. If they having really problems here, they have to vote not guilty. He will have to be found not guilty on all charges. Now, as far as strategy, I think his defense team is doing really well. I don't have a problem with his defense team. I mean, they're doing a really, really, really good job here. And if you notice, tomorrow they're going to cross-examine the witness that's currently on the stand. So they're going to try to poke holes in her story. Like, well, why did you stay? If he did all this to you, like if he made you stay up for 5 days straight, why would you even stay in that environment? They might bring out some text messages that she said to him that'll get us thinking, like, wait a minute, maybe all the things she's saying really didn't happen. Maybe there's some text messages between her and him, like, thank you for the night. We had a really good night together, stuff like that. Yeah, that first trial ended a hung jury. So he can get off. It's up to the jury, right? Because the jury is going to look at this and they're going to decide in that deliberation room, has the government connected all the dots? Is this a criminal organization or not? That's the most serious charge. That RICO, if he beats that and beat the second most serious charge, I'm not saying it's not good. I mean, if you get a gun charge, that's not good. But 5 years is certainly better than 20. And he already had time served. So that's one way he could technically get off. I mean, he's technically not getting off, but the gun charge, those are the lesser charges. But as of right now, it's the jury. Like she's giving her testimony. Did she go to the police? The answer is no. So we don't have any police statements. We don't have anything. The jury, they're going to have to poke holes in her story to create doubt in the jury's mind. So that's what they're doing. That's their strategy. They're paying close attention to what's being said, then go from there. You said I was wondering why some get agreements to get off and others still do time. Depends on the situation. If he can prove that everyone was consenting adults in a relationship, I mean, really, the burden is not really on the defense. The burden is on the government to prove this beyond reasonable doubt. That's why people going back and forth. Should he testify or should he not testify? They say conventional wisdom would tell you not to testify, but I mean, do they have text messages or anything between them to create a little bit of doubt? No, he looks regular. See how he's sitting there? He's very attentive. He take notes, and he's listening to everything. He's very attentive, and sometimes he'll have notes or whatever, and they share notes with each other like that. Yes, he ran on trying to get Cosby locked up, right? And he was a little bit too ambitious. You said kidnapping, SA, and arson so far. So you think they got him on kidnapping, but for them to get him on kidnapping, that means the jury has to believe her story, right? For the kidnapping, SA, and arson. Everything is still circumstantial because we don't have no video placing him at the scene. But you could probably maybe draw inference that he had somebody to do it. At what point do you think Mariota comes out the bullpen? We're going to have to wait until the government rests their case and the defense rests their case to see where they're at. But this is gonna, for me, in my opinion, now a lot of people like Tony Busby, he's commenting on this case on Instagram, and he said that I might have to let you hear it. Let me just let you hear it because he's explaining what they're trying to do. He thinks, and he's not there, but he's only going off of what everybody else is going off of. So let me bring it up. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. Let me play what he's
someone to cross state lines with the intention of paying them for sex or some kind of sexual performance or some sort of sexual act that would be illegal in the state in which it occurs, you, my friend, are in violation of the Mann Act. That is a federal crime. It has nothing to do with coercion. It has nothing to do with fraud. It has nothing to do with sexual trafficking. It may be similar to sexual trafficking, but it's not sexual trafficking. P. Diddy has been accused and charged with not only violations of the Mann Act that I just described, but also with sexual trafficking. He's also been accused of violating the RICO statute. Many of you have said, oh, the RICO statute, that's only for the mob. Well, there's no doubt that the RICO statute was enacted both criminally and civilly to try to take down the mob. But it's been used in a lot of different instances, both criminally and civilly. They're very difficult cases to make. You have to show an overarching conspiracy, and then you have to show predicate acts, or in this case, predicate crimes. And it looks like that's what the prosecution in New York is trying to do. And we're all watching. I think it does the prosecution, the defense, and the public a disservice for commentators who don't really know what they're talking about to jump on social media and to start saying, oh, Diddy's a bad guy, but he's not in violation of the RICO Act. When to prove a RICO case takes step by step, methodically putting together a case. You show the predicate acts, you show how they're related, you show where the criminal defendant comes out in the entire so-called conspiracy, and it takes a lot of time. And that's what these prosecutors are doing, and they're doing it step by step. And frankly, we're not in the courtroom, but from all reports, they're doing a good job. So we'll wait and see and let the jury decide ultimately, not someone on CNN or a podcast or on a blog.
I want to listen to the first part when he's talking about. I want to listen to that first part again when he's talking about the Mann Act. This is where it's dangerous. I had said this before. They tacked on the Mann Act. So the Mann Act is, okay, give you a scenario how I best describe it. I pay somebody to come to my state. I give them money for exchange for sex across state lines. That's the Mann Act, aka the Jack Johnson Act, because that was structured around Jack Johnson in the early 1900s, because back then it was illegal to marry outside your race, and he did it anyway. And they said he crossed state lines with his wife, who he was married to. So they charged him with the Mann Act. Yeah, the Jack Johnson Act. That's why Diddy and his attorneys saying that this was racially motivated. And so, yeah, it's like I want to hear that one more time because he's saying it's something different than sex trafficking. Let me hear that one more time.
If you pay someone to cross state lines with the intention of paying them for sex or some kind of sexual performance or some sort of sexual act that would be illegal in the state in which it occurs, you, my friend, are in violation of the Mann Act. That is a federal crime. It has nothing to do with coercion. It has nothing to do with fraud. It has nothing to do with sexual trafficking. It may be similar to sexual trafficking, but it's not sexual trafficking. P. Diddy has been accused and charged with not only violations of the Mann Act that I just described, but also with sexual trafficking. He's also...
All right, stop. So they're saying when you cross in state lines for the purposes, it brings somebody in for purpose of sex, and it's illegal where it is, that's in violation of the Mann Act, not sexual trafficking. So when people are saying, "Oh, that ain't sex trafficking," that ain't sex, yeah, but they tacked on the Mann Act. They tacked on that Jack Johnson Act. So don't be surprised. He's in trouble. He is, because they tacked it on. And Cassie's already testified that she used to pay them, and they did go different states. That's the violation of the Mann Act. So it's not sex trafficking, it's the Mann Act. Now, if they get him for sex trafficking, they get him for sex trafficking. But right now, he's in danger of being found guilty on violating the Mann Act. And that's why a lot of people say this is racially motivated, because it was racial in its inception. It was. Because Jack Johnson didn't do anything wrong. But they need to get him back somehow. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say if all parties were consenting, is that violation? Yeah, because if they getting paid knowing they cross state lines, knowing that something's ready to go down because I'm getting paid, and that happens, that's in violation of the Mann Act. It's not sex trafficking, he said. Ain't that something? That's why people saying that he's going to be found guilty on something. That's why they're saying this. He said, who crossed state lines? The guys did. You don't like that, do you? I know a lot of people. I had to let you guys hear that one more time, because it's tricky now. That's why people are saying he's going to be found guilty on something. There was a lawyer I remember in the elevator, a world famous. She said he is cooked regardless. He's cooked. Okay, let me let you hear it again. The Mann Act is different from sex trafficking. Listen, I'm gonna let you hear it one more time, because a lot of people are missing that. Because I was like, oh my God, he is screwed.
If you pay someone to cross state lines,
No, hold on.
if you pay someone to cross state lines with the intention of paying them for sex, or some kind of sexual performance, or some sort of sexual act that would be illegal in the state in which it occurs, you, my friend, are in violation of the Mann Act. That is a federal crime. It has nothing to do with coercion. It has nothing to do with fraud. It has nothing to do with sexual trafficking. It may be similar to sexual trafficking, but it's not sexual trafficking. P. Diddy has been accused and charged with not only violations of the Mann Act that I just described, but also with sexual trafficking. He's also been accused of violating the RICO statute. Many of you have said, oh, the RICO statute, that's only for the mob. Well, there's no doubt that the RICO statute was enacted both criminally and civilly to try to take down the mob. But it's been used in a lot of different instances, both criminally and civilly. They're very difficult cases to make. You have to show an overarching conspiracy, and then you have to show predicate acts, or in this case, predicate crimes. And it looks like that's what the prosecution in New York is trying to do. And we're all watching. I think it does the prosecution, the defense, and the public a disservice for commentators who don't really know what they're talking about to jump on social media and to start saying, oh, Diddy's a bad guy, but he's not in violation of the RICO Act. When to prove a RICO case takes step by step, methodically putting together a case. You show the predicate acts, you show how they're related, you show where the criminal defendant comes out in the entire so-called conspiracy, and it takes a lot of time. And that's what these prosecutors are doing, and they're doing it step by step. And frankly, we're not in the courtroom, but from all reports, they're doing a good job. So we'll wait and see and let the jury decide ultimately, not someone on CNN or a podcast or on a blog.
All right, so let's do this again. So everybody's saying, well, they can't prove RICO. They can't prove RICO. Let's set that aside for a minute. They tacked on the Mann Act. That's why his lawyers were saying this is racially motivated. They tacked that on. That's very easy to prove. Now, they've already had some dancers testify. Now, there was a dancer that was in a hotel at the Intercontinental Hotel, Los Angeles. I don't know if he's from Los Angeles. He might be. But that was somebody they like to use a lot. They were comfortable with him. Even though he was having a good time, it might have been consenting adults at some point, right? Everybody consenting. I know they testifying that she didn't want to do it after a while, but what happens if they cross state lines and pay them? That's in violation of the Mann Act, which makes her a co-conspirator. Okay? So when she was testifying, she really was the co-conspirator actually testifying. This is why I'm like, oh my God. Like, it's right there in front of our face. And now, in order to get him convicted on the RICO, they have, first of all, they have to prove that it's a criminal organization, but it's not. They don't have to prove it's like mob style. They don't have to prove that. All they have to prove is that he is working in concert with some people, and all they need is 2 predicate acts within a 10-year period. That's all they need. And, it's almost like the lawyer said, we're paying attention to the wrong thing. She really was a co-conspirator. She said she paid them. She got them, and sometimes she arranged for them to whatever. Well, if they cross state lines, well, she's in violation of that Mann Act too. When she helped, not just his assistants, her Cassie as well, but she did her thing. She already testified. She's not in danger of going to prison. So it's like man, you say he is a mob boss of Bad Boy Records. You said they can consent, but it's still right. They can consent, but it's still in violation. They said, "Oh no, that ain't sex trafficking." No. Nobody is talking about the Mann Act. They tacked on the Mann Act, and his lawyers responded to it saying it's racially motivated. They've already talked about that already. You said, but they didn't fly people in. You said, but they didn't? No, she's already testified that they did. Now, it's going to come down to whether the jury sides with the government or not. If they're leaning more towards government or not. Because that's what she said happened. You said this is a hip-hop tragedy. Tupac and Biggie dead. Suge and Puff in jail. If anything is exchanged, promised, or threatened, it becomes trafficking. Right. He said, we'll give you immunity. Just tell on Diddy. Mob bosses talk. Oh, The mob bosses talked about him yesterday and said he wouldn't have lasted in the mob because they don't beat on women. Right. There's an old guy on Instagram. Is that who you talking about? It's an older guy on Instagram. He did some time, and he's talking about Puff's case. He said, "I'm going to show you why they're getting ready to convict him because he got experience on it because he had to do jail time, prison time in the feds." Yeah, he said, "I'm getting ready to show you that they're almost done." Because he's been looking at it. He said they're almost done with him. He said because he got convicted on racketeering and stuff. You know who I'm talking about, Michelle? No, no kids got brought up. Yeah, there's an older guy. Um, he uh, he did some time in the feds, and it was racketeering. He said, "Yeah, the mob guys broke it down. Their organization started the RICO charges, right, with Rudy Giuliani." And well, they didn't start it, but well, I guess that their organization got taken down because of it. And Rudy Giuliani had updated those RICO charges, like we're gonna do it this way. They kind of did the same thing a little bit with Al Capone, but he ultimately was found guilty on what was it, tax evasion or money laundering? Laundering, one of the two. They got him on that. Yeah, the RICO was designed to take him out. And here's another thing with the RICO: you don't even have to commit the crime. You just have to be there and know about it. I mean, you don't have to be on the crime scene. You just had to have had prior knowledge of it. You can get taken down. I had said a couple years ago that they have a plan in place. Eventually, there's not going to be any more gangs in LA. The gangs will be done. They consider them public enemy number one. They consider them a nuisance. So what's going to happen? Kind of what happened in the city that I was in for the last several years, which I was in Richmond. You go by the projects now, there's nobody standing out there. Most of them got locked up or dead or just don't come out the house. Um, but when I'm thinking about this Rico though, yeah, they remixing it on him because they, in their mind, he created a criminal organization. Yeah, they're gonna eventually eradicate gangs in this country. Not totally though, not totally, but most of the majority. But yeah, that Mann Act is very, very problematic. Yeah, it's in violation. I keep going over that the Mann Act. Damn, they checked him on with the Mann Act. So you said gentrification in your area help reduce the gang crime. Yeah, they eventually gonna have them go away. They have a spot for them where you can just go away and they won't hear from you no more. So it's like, man, I'm like, I keep reading it over and over again. I'm like, fuck. I think they got him on the Mann Act, man. You know, but we'll see. We'll see. So Diddy, man. I somebody else. I gotta find that video. You said they're gonna get him on one thing. They never mentioned. They said they have him by the nuts. The Mann Act, man. Like like I said, it's for Jack Johnson. Now, what his former assistant testified today over, that was pretty bad. Yeah, man, it's pretty bad, man. The Mann Act, folks. Let me find that other video.
Should P. Diddy testify? Well, the conventional wisdom is criminal defendants should not say anything. That's the conventional wisdom. The conventional wisdom is that you tell your story through witnesses, because if you put your criminal defendant, in this case P. Diddy, on the stand to tell his story, that opens him up to being cross-examined by all kinds of things that otherwise may not ever make it into the trial. We've been watching this case now, though, for several weeks, and there's been a lot said about P. Diddy, and some things are just outrageous. And the prosecution, the U.S. Attorney's Office, is making a very slow, methodical case, and they're interspersing their case with sensationalism of, from things like applesauce on hamburgers to urinating in people's mouths. I mean, it's just been a complete shit show. And so a lot of people who are more traditional about whether a defendant should testify are starting to think, maybe P. Diddy not only should testify, but maybe he has to testify. Now, of course, this is going to open him up to being cross-examined about all kinds of things that we probably haven't even heard about yet. But, here we've already seen evidence of a lot of the various counts that are basically being buttoned up. So it may be a situation where he doesn't have a choice. But ultimately, it is the criminal defendant's choice to testify. And, of course, he's going to rely upon his lawyers. And I think some of the best lawyers in the country are now starting to suggest that P. Diddy may not just want to testify, but maybe he will have to testify. We will all be watching. Of course, I will be watching. Stay tuned. Should P. Diddy testify?
I gotta find this other one. Let me see, where is it? But yeah, the mob old mobsters did a good job talking about it. Oh, I'm on the wrong account. Oh, let me see. see something.
The government is just warming up on the Diddy trial. Tomorrow, I'm posting my predictions of who the key witnesses are going to be and how the RICO is going to come into play like you won't believe. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss this.
He didn't make any more updates. Oh, Michael Francis. Yeah, let me see. He did time in the feds. Let's see what Suge talking about.
Proof of the guys with guns. They got proof of tapes where Andre Young paid these guys to kill me with a personal check. 20,000 here, money there, and they all agreed they was paid to kill me. And the fact that if you really look at the whole situation, it started with 10. Same people at 10 got shot 7 times. Same people at Tams tried to kill me. Same thing that the FBI says it's a price on your head. They want to kill you. So when somebody tries to kill you and you get away, how did I end up in prison? But the most important thing about this, they denied me to go. They wouldn't let me go but David Kenner, my attorney, did the most crookedest thing on record that you can possibly do. And this is a guy who's getting this, they're trying to disbar me 24, 25, 21, and they never reported that to the courts or to me. But past that, the situation is this. A lot of crooked cops got involved in hip-hop. Those same crooked cops, I felt that cost me my freedom, cost Puffy his freedom for now, cost a lot of people bad situations. And I think that they cost the most biggest 2 rappers in hip-hop history, Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls, their life. Everybody points the finger at everyone, but it all comes back to the same authorities.
I mean, as you know, Shug, you mentioned Tupac there. Obviously, it was 1996. I mean, incredible to think it's nearly 30 years ago when he was shot and killed. You were alongside him in the car. Many people have speculated since that Diddy ordered that death of Tupac. Is that your belief?
Well, first of all, I got a bullet still today, a 45 bullet an inch to my skull. You can look at my medical records and see the x-rays and see it's in my skull. They didn't remove it because they said if it would have went another inch, he'd either been a vegetable or dead. Now, as far as what they say Puffy did and didn't do, this is the facts. The facts of the matter is this. It was a guy named Reggie Wright Jr., who was over security. He didn't work directly for Death Row, but he had a security company called Right Way Security, who did security for Death Row when
Excuse me.
officers or guys with a CCW. Everybody knows when we go to a fight in Vegas, we're going to be at the Tyson fight, or we're going to be at my club they call Club 662. You can go to that club and you'll see Mary J. Blige perform, Joey C. perform. Change the whole story of the narrative, what actually happened, and he was not there. During that situation, Snoop, who everyone knew at the time,
not falling asleep.
Snoop had a meeting with Daz, Corrupt, Nate Dogg, the Dog Pound. Said, we're not going to Vegas. This is their words, not mine. We're not going to Vegas because basically something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get killed, right? So, Corrupt tells the story. Dad tells the story. Warren G tells the story. Now, what Dad says, when Snoop said that after day, we can't go to Vegas, who's going to get those niggas? They already going to get guys, basically. Corrupt tells the story and says, once he tells everybody they can't go to the fight and can't go to Vegas, turns around, Nate Dogg said, I'm going to go to Vegas. Because I'm going to Vegas, I don't got to be around basically me and Pac. He said, as long as I ain't around them, I don't have to worry about getting shot or getting a stray bullet. That lets you know, premeditated plan. Warren G says, when the fight was going on, he was watching at his house. Snoop came over to watch the fight. Snoop had a walkie-talkie. These walkie-talkies, he only got this walkie-talkie that I bought for security and a principal that security doing security with. And they worked on all the West Coast. So if you're an artist and you going to the mall or you going somewhere, they have a walkie-talkie, security have a walkie-talkie. If you're not going to an event with any of the security details, you don't have a walkie-talkie. Because I didn't buy that many because I wanted to be exclusive. They had them approach them and gave them money.
Let me just speed up. Let me see what he's saying.
TPD says if he go to prison for, this is words. TPD says if he go to prison for the Tupac murder, Reggie Wright Jr. gonna go to prison for Biggie's murder. So all these things going back and forth. You know, who knows what? Absolutely what. What we do know, money was paid out. What we do know, according to these guys, to the police, not the police are actually doing the investigation, the cricket cops. You got to remember.
Did you ever ask Diddy directly if he'd been involved?
Well, that question would be no. Since all this happened,
He never
I never had a situation to have a conversation with Puffy. Majority of the time Puffy see me, he going out the back door or going down the street somewhere. Only time that I ever had a conversation with Puffy, and it wasn't even a real conversation, I was at the Roosevelt Hotel having dinner. Somebody came over to my table and said, Prince, I want you to come watch this show right now. I said, Prince performing? I said, yeah. And Prince a real gangster. Prince, he likes the bullshit. So I go in and they sit me at a table with Puffy, Nas, two other people. Prince playing his guitar and he walked to the table and looked at me, looked at Puffy and started laughing. You can tell he's playing them.
Yeah, he might get a pardon. Well, wait a minute. No, I believe Suge is a state case. Nah, the only way he can get out is a pardon by the governor of California. I don't believe it's a Fed case, or maybe I could be wrong. But he says a lot about this whole storyline. It's almost like they're trying to tie Puff to this stuff that happened back in the day. So, yeah, it's really something because people are looking at this case like, man. So, you said Newsom would let him go when Trump called. But will Puff get a pardon? That's the question. Can he get it? So, but yeah, getting back to that Rico situation, man, it's just I mean the Mann Act. It's like, man, I know Bootsy said, he's like, man, we do it all the time, fly people out. That could be the Mann Act, Bootsy. It just depends. Yeah, man. So, yeah, they still got an uphill battle to fight. It's on attorneys, but he said Puff is going to be in prison for being a drug addicted, sex fiend. Hmm. He said, nah, a lot of people don't like Diddy. Let me see how y'all feel about Diddy not getting this batch of Trump pardons. I don't think he's entertaining this because of the nature of the charges. And it's, he's still actively going through the case. I mean, at any time, I mean, that's his Justice Department now. So I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. You said, is he in PC? Because they not talking. You said, is he in PC? Come on, Suge. Nah, I think he in General Pop. You say he can't be. Oh, yeah. Crazy, man. Craziness. But we definitely gonna get more into it. I believe she'll probably be off the stand at some point before lunch tomorrow. You should wonder what Jay-Z is thinking right now. I don't know. You wonder what Jay-Z is thinking right now. He said Jay-Z is thinking, how do I delete my iCloud? That's hilarious. You said Jay-Z and Diddy had a bromance. Yeah, he said the only person other than his mother that could call him Sean is Jay-Z. That's what he said. He said his brother. That's the only thing. But yeah, getting to this testimony, man. Let me see. There was something I had noted. You said, well, did he gets out and becomes a pastor like Bishop Eddie Long and Creflo Dollar? He probably can do it. All he got to do is talk to his flock real quick. I have seen and I'm sorry. I have seen Ian, and I'm sorry. Let me see, where is it? Man, she testified. She said, the attorney said, let's talk about the hotel nights. What was your role? She said, I would sometimes take them there, unpack and set up. I would just have to be on call, essentially, and clean up before the housekeeping. He had Astroglide candles. Some of them were cheap Glade candles without the label on them. She said she would bring his lotions and potions. Um, let's see. Yeah, that was a nasty one. I mean, he wouldn't even let her go to the bathroom. That was crazy. Then she was talking about blood. And, after the fact, there's blood all in the room, and she had to pretty much pick up everything. You said Diddy said you got to change your vibration if you want to testify. It's another one where she said, let me see. Um, yeah, when she asked him about the blood in the room, he said he would tell her that it's period blood. Let me see. Where is it? He was saying how you now in the Breakfast Club now, and he said you're part of the Breakfast Club because he offered her some drugs. Hold on, let me see this. Let me read this. It said he had drugs on the plates. I tried to say no. The attorney said, "What happened?" She said, "Puff wouldn't let it go, and it turned more serious. That I was going to mess up the whole vibe. So I tried to fake it. He got close to my face and humiliated me. But she's saying he said she gonna kill the vibe. And look, he separated out a dose and made me snort it. She said she didn't want to fall into the K-hole. She said I seen a person get off it. It was like an exorcism. Let me see. Yeah, that was a crazy little right there. crazy. And then it was where was another one? Hold on, where's the other one that I got? What's this? It just froze. Now she said here, this assault happened at the Beverly Grove house. I was asleep on the bottom bunk. I wasn't allowed to unlock the door. I woke up and there was weight of a person on me. The attorney was like, who? She said, Puff. Mia, she said, it was so fast. He used one hand to get his pants undone, the other for the, Then she said he put himself inside of her. She said it felt like forever, but it was short. Man. He said change your own vibration. You said who was the witness that said Puff had a tush roll? That wasn't a civil complaint. And she said she was crying, but she looked down at him. She said, well, at least this ain't gonna hurt. Craziness. Well, yeah, I heard the prosecution when they said we're gonna change our ways. Craziness, man. Mm, crazy, Avid. And then they say we're talking about, what happened at the Prince party. One of Prince's bodyguards had to intervene and break it up. Yeah, yeah. It's just a lot of the stuff she was saying was really, really. It's just like hard to hear. You said didn't Cassie show the text from Diddy saying he was out of town and was gonna have Kid Cudi car blown up. You said didn't Cassie show a text from Diddy saying he was out of town. Yeah, I heard that. It was like a text message. You said somebody posted people were crying in the courtroom. She was crying. Mia was. You said so humiliating talking about the son. Yeah, it's just a lot of people saying, damn, they really, really humiliating him. But I don't know. It, like, if he did all this stuff, it's fucking crazy. Like, you can't explain some of it, but we'll see what happens tomorrow because she cross examination, and then I forget they named somebody else that's supposed to come up. I forget that person's name. Um, yeah, I can't think of it right now. You said who is worse, him or Weinstein? Man, these stories, man, it's like it's horrible. Somebody was saying to me, okay, yes, the stories are horrible, but is that Rico, Max? It's Rico. I know, but look at everything they got him with. They trying to get him with. But we'll see. It's the jury, ultimately. It's not us. So yeah, we're just doing this for the sake of discussion, but yeah, I don't know what the jury is gonna decide. We'll see. You said Weinstein didn't blow up any cars. You said but close to a tie. It's hilarious. You said but close to a tie. Yeah, Weinstein, his case is going on right across the street from Diddy right now. JC said too many accounts of it for not to be true. I thought she worked for the comedian. I didn't know she worked for Weinstein as well. Yeah, Weinstein got another trial right across the street from Diddy. Oh, thank you. Let me see. Thank you, Sue Ram, for the blessing. I just saw it. Thank you. Yep, Weinstein going on right across the street. No, she worked with Weinstein's wife. Okay. Michael Francis, he's a former mobster. He has a YouTube now, Denise. He did Fed time. I think he did over 10 years, actually. She said, Cassie said, nah, I'm not Jelaine. I'm going to get the feds everything they want and need. You said who worse, Diddy or R. Kelly? Well, R. Kelly was involved with younger people, so I don't know. I can't compare the two. I'm not even going to try to do that. I feel like that's kind of crazy if I even tried. But being what this woman is on the stand saying is craziness. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, she said when she first started, he was look, I think he was testing her because she was like with him all day. You know what I'm saying? The day is over, it's nighttime. She wanted to go home, and he was like, "No, I want you at the studio." Okay, so she went to the studio, and she was there all night. So they was like, "Well, what sleep did you get?" She said, "I never got no sleep." She was up 24 hours. She didn't get no sleep, right? And it went on for 5 days. Didn't get no sleep. She had to be with him, boom, 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 until she started losing her hearing and she started seeing lights that wasn't there. Her brain was trying to shut down. So, and then she said Puff saw that. He was like, "Yeah, you go ahead and get some sleep. Go ahead and get some sleep." After you don't had her ass up for 5 days. Yeah, she took it as a challenge. But then later on, she said she was somewhere and he was sleeping. So she thought she can go and get some rest. He was like, the bodyguard's calling. Nah, he puffed in. He said, he didn't say you could leave. You got to come back. She said she was only allowed to leave when he said she could leave. That's why he said it's dangerous. You could fall asleep driving. Yeah, trust me, I learned the hard way. It scared me to the point I pulled over and said, I'm never going to be that tired driving again. Um, so yeah, she said took it as a challenge, but then as time went on, she was saying that, she couldn't leave. So they're trying to get him on forced labor right there. I mean, think about that. Like, and she said he's always working. Like, he don't never have no really downtime. He's always working. But she didn't even work that much when she was with the guy that was before Puff she worked for. I forget his name. She said it was like working a 9 to 5 and you're done for the day. With Puff, nah, you on all the day. It's like you on every ounce of the minute of the day. You on. I mean, I don't know how much of that was just, and then he had complained to somebody about it, saying he don't know what she do all day. So he said, but with R. Kelly, a lot of stuff with minors was in the 90s. He was messing with adults. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was just the way she would describe. She said she started to shut down. But finally, he said she go to sleep. Let me see what else she said. It was just craziness. Hold up. Let me go back to Inner City Press instead of because I don't know who has the transcripts, but It's close enough. Let me see. Let me see where it is. These comments on Twitter is hilarious. What is this? It says the government sent us a letter at 11 p.m. last night about changes to the direct case with fewer witnesses. It might take our case longer. Judge, that's vague. Diddy lawyer said, I still see 4th of July. So they're going to be there after the 4th of July. Yeah, it seemed like Jay, he seemed like he don't lost his, I mean, like I said, I don't have the transcripts. However, he do, let me see. Let me see. Deontay Nash. I got to find the one where she came in. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Or move to exclude. Nope, that's not it. Plaza Hotel. That's not it. Okay, Mr. Steele. Okay, let's see. It's gonna be better now. Let's see if he get off the stand. I have some of it here. Let me see. They want. Yeah, she was just saying a lot of stuff, man. Like she said he threw stuff at her, and it's crazy. Wouldn't let her to go to the bathroom one time when she had to change her, you know what, or her monthly. He let her stay right there, and it was just everything was just starting to make a mess. Then he threw stuff at her again. Dude was tripping. Let me see, table. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Damn, I can't find it how it was earlier. Forget it. He probably took it down.
darkest years of my life. He stayed by my side, helping me heal and quietly collecting evidence. In 2023, I finally found the courage to file a lawsuit. It wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. It was something I had been planning for a long time. When Alex found out, he stood firmly with me. The case was quickly settled for $30 million. Some people said I only did it for the money, but to me, the real victory was breaking through his first layer of protection. After that, more and more women came forward, sharing their experiences with solid evidence, leading to a full investigation. When it was all over, I chose to step away from the industry. Alex respected and supported that decision. People ask me why I married Alex Fine.
Oh, wait a minute. There's a video with Cassie, she was saying people was asking her about the case. Yeah, he definitely was doing some craziness, man. If you call him a monster, yeah, he definitely was on one. Then he said, and at one point, she said he would give her life advice. Let me help you out with your life. He said, I just don't know how to respond to that. Respond to what? Which one? Let me give you some life advice. Oh, yeah, he threw food at her, yeah. Like, threw food at her head. She said she would bring his lotions and potions to the when she's setting up the hotel. His lotions and potions. She said she'd bring Astroglide candles, some of them cheap Glade candles without the labels on them. They had to be white. He said, what else would you bring to the hotel? Anything he forgot at the house. Money, how much? He said, like thousands of dollars. And what is this one? He said, she said, who told you to clean the rooms? She said, Puff in the office. It was standard to sweep the room so no housekeeper can sell to TMZ. She said, how were the rooms? He said, destroyed, candle wax everywhere. I seen broken glass, sometimes blood, and she said oil on the walls. She'll see blood, she'll witness blood and oil on the walls. It says, what would Mr. Combs tell you about the blood? She said that it was period blood. That's what he tell her. And what happened in Cassie's car in LA. She said Cass got a call. She said Cass got a call and told me she wants to do that he wants to do a hotel night. And she didn't want to. She got sick. After the hotel night, she said, man down. He said, where is Obama to help Diddy? That was his guy. He can't help him now. Mm. Yeah, him not letting it change the, yeah. Then threw something at her again. Dude was just something else, man. She said her blood was dripping down her leg. I said, I have to go change my tampon. What did Mr. Combs do? He threw his bowl of spaghetti at me and then said, get the F out of my house. He chased her out, man. Let me see what else it said. She said the Beverly Grove. No, it said, where were you the next time Mr. Combs assaulted you? The Beverly Grove house. I was asleep on the bottom bunk. She said I wasn't allowed to lock the door. So I woke up with the weight of a person on me. She said, who? She said, Puff. She said it was so fast, he used one hand to get his pants undone, but put himself inside her. It's craziness. Mm. Yeah, man, I don't know, man. It's the criminal enterprise. What y'all think? Mm. I wish it was like kind of televised so everybody could see it. Mm. But we'll see what tomorrow brings, man. What was the other one? It was another one she said. I gotta find that thread, man, for real. Let me see. Let's see. Let me see. What is the yeah, I can't find it. You said where's Meek Mill, LeBron, Ashton Kutcher? Quiet. They ain't got nothing to say. Mm. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. What other craziness? She said a lot of crazy stuff in this thing. This cross exam. So man, I think it might be Brian Steele tomorrow cross examining her. So he might have a better showing. We'll see. Do I think Kanye will testify in Diddy's defense? I don't know. He said, yeah, the tweets gonna do it justice. Kanye, let me see. I don't know. Only a fool. Yeah, man. It's just so much stuff, man. Man. But yeah, man, this is like freaking. He just sitting there too, like in that picture. He just sitting there and listening to him testify. He said, "I would not trust Kanye on the stand." Nope. He's telling prosecutors that they don't have the answer. Man. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. We'll pick up back tomorrow and go from there. A little bit of issues outside the courtroom. Some people were told to not come back for a few days. It's a whole bunch going on. So yeah, I'll definitely catch you guys on the next one. But yeah, sometime in the morning I'll be live. All right, y'all, because we're gonna see. Because this is like, I'm thinking it might get a little bit worse before she's over with. We'll see. I don't know what's worse than SA and all that. I don't know what could be. I don't know. But yeah, it's insane, man. But all right, y'all. I'll catch you guys on the next one.